This video is about the Shakespeare Code. Now, the first man to have the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine, in the UK is actually called William Shakespeare. Now, this is some kind of occult message by the elite, and I'm going to try and work out what it is. Now, William Shakespeare was not a real man, so he didn't write the plays. Shakespeare's plays were actually written by an occult group, and in the plays there's lots of occult symbolism and occult philosophy. Now, Shakespeare wrote a play called The Tempest, and the 2012 opening ceremony, the closing ceremony, and the Paralympics ceremonies were based on the book The Tempest. Now, The Tempest has hidden meaning about the United Kingdom. So in the book The Tempest, they end up shipwrecked onto an island, and Prospero, who's the main character, is a magician, and he uses spirits to regain his kingdom. And the play is about this huge storm which shipwrecks the protagonists of the play. Now, Prospero is like a magician character, and was based on John Dee. And John Dee used to summon spirits, and these spirits used to give him insight. And in the play there is a character, so if we look at The Tempest, it was based on John Dee, and it's John Dee that came up with the term of the British Empire, and John Dee's code name was 007. And in the play you have two spirit type characters. One is called Caliban, who is a devil who helps Prospero, and another is an angel called Ariel. Now, on the front of the BBC building there is a sculpture by Eric Gill, who was a paedophile, of Prospero and Ariel's portrayed as a child. So there's kind of a paedophilic aspect to the sculpture, and people do not know if Ariel is male or female. Now, what's interesting is this character called Caliban, who is actually the devil, and he's portrayed as the devil, and it is through the help of these characters that Prospero regains his kingdom. And in this play there's some kind of cult aspect, because if you look at Blake's poem Jerusalem, to build Jerusalem in England's land in the Satanic Mills, so that England is this chosen country, as shown in Shakespeare's play in The Tempest. So there's lots of hidden meaning, and also that they were abandoned on this island, and with these spirits they gained their kingdom and they gained enlightenment. And this is the theme which is portrayed in the Olympics opening ceremonies. So you have this character Calibos, and this is how Calibos is portrayed in the Clash of the Titans. So he's actually the devil-horned figure. Now, this Calibos actually wants to have sex with Prospero's daughter, Miranda. And so you can see, and John Dee actually communicated with spirits, and he created this thing called sex magic, where spirits wanted to have sex with his wife. So the play is based on John Dee. Remember, John Dee, the founder of the British Empire, he's the one that came up with the idea of it. And so if we look at the closing and opening ceremonies, now this is the closing ceremony of 2012, and it's all based on The Tempest. It's all based on that play. And we have William Shakespeare, we have Winston Churchill, who was a 33rd degree Freemason, giving the speech of Caliban, so that demonic figure, saying how, this, we can be free, we can be enlightened on this isle with my help. So it's the aid of this kind of demonic character which aids man in his development. And now this closing ceremony of the 2012 Olympics was called the Rising Phoenix, but all of those sections are based on this play of The Tempest and Prospero and Caliban. Remember, John Dee was Queen Elizabeth I's magician, and so there's this aspect of communication with spirits, and these spirits will then enlighten man to reach his highest potential. And this ceremony was called the birth of the phoenix, and then you have the phoenix right at the end above the cauldron. So this was the closing ceremony, and then you had the phoenix above it, very similar to Aleister Crowley's OTO. So the phoenix is Lucifer, who is reincarnated himself into our reality. That was the closing ceremony. Now, this is the opening ceremony, and you have the character Isambard Kingdom Brunel, who's a Freemason, who created the Industrial Revolution, and he also gives a speech from Prospero. So again, you have the same theme. You also have lots of musical acts which are Masonic, and they all the songs are about being united together with this kind of spirit. We can rule the world. Like Take That, Sing That, the end ceremony. And so in this one, Isambard Kingdom Brunel also gives a speech from The Tempest, and as I say, it's based on this character Caliban plays a major role. So if you look at it on Wikipedia, you can see that the ceremony was based on this character and The Tempest. So here. So right at the bottom here, you have 2012 opening ceremony, Isle of Wonder, which is really England. So England is the centre of this kind of satanic cult where they communicate with demonic figures, and this is kind of the message of the Tempest, which is hidden. Okay, so you have the speeches of Prospero and Caliban given to these major characters, and of course you have the all-seeing eye, lights, and it's just full of Masonic symbolism. And in this opening ceremony you have the nurses dancing around, so kind of predicting the coronavirus. Now in this opening ceremony here of the Paralympics, you have the 666 here, and you had Stephen Hawking's presenting his idea of the Big Bang. Now his idea of the Big Bang was actually represented by a huge all-seeing eye, and in it again you have the speech from the Tempest.
Force that holds together the youthful system of the sun, the planets, and the comets. This gravity is the same force that can draw us into a black hole, never to return.
Miranda, immerse yourself in the wonders of science and the universe.
So Ian McKellen gives a speech as Prospero, talking to Miranda, saying how wonderful man can be if he only opens his mind to all possibilities. And the theme of this Paralympics opening ceremony was kind of transhumanism, that man can go beyond himself. And so an apple comes down and they bite to the apple, so very symbolic of the forbidden fruit. And remember, this is all based on Shakespeare's occult play The Tempest.
Ladies and gentlemen, please get your apples ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fight!
So they bite the forbidden fruit. And also in the opening ceremony of the Olympics, they also had a tree, which is the forbidden tree of knowledge, on a mound. Okay, so it's all Masonic. And in this, so when they bite the apple, then the main theme is A Brave New World. Now, A Brave New World is actually a book written by Aldous Huxley, and it's about a dystopia, which is what we're in now. And according to some, 2020 is actually 2012. You've heard that in the media. So let me take you why this is important, why there is a code being said. Because I just saw this video that on the 14th, the presidency of Donald Trump will end, and it'll be the same time as an eclipse and a meteor shower. Okay, so Trump actually said in a press meeting that America was going to be here, calm before the storm. So just watch this. Hang on there. So you have this quote by Trump saying the calm before the storm 3 years ago, and he's about to leave office on the day where, so the 14th is where apparently the Electoral College will decide, and you have the calm before the storm. Now the storm is the Tempest, and is this the code which is given by this character here, that soon a tempest will come? And is this why we had this guy called William Shakespeare presented as the first man to take the coronavirus vaccine? Okay, thank you.